Welcome to Bright Thinker Courses. So I'm going to give you an overview of how Bright Thinker will work for you as a student. So this is your home page. This is like the hallway to your school. And each course tile you see here, Ancient History, this is the doorway to your classroom. And in the doorway to your classroom, you're going to see your current grade, the progress you have. So the farther you go in the course, the more work you do, the progress bar is going to get longer. Now, one of the most useful things that you can do is upload, do your profile picture, your settings. So to do that, you click on your name in the top right corner. Notice you can choose a theme. So you can change the color if you like. Save is in the top right corner. You can do your settings. So make sure that if you have the ability to change an email address, make sure you do that. You can choose an avatar. Very important right here that you hide excused activities, because your teacher is going to be excusing you from some of the lessons and you don't want to get confused. So make sure that you do that. Then you have an ability to set notifications. So if you have a cell phone and you want to get text notifications, make sure you enter your mobile phone number and choose your carrier. If you don't want text, that's fine, but at least choose email. And that way you could have a digest, daily digest, weekly digest. And what that means is that around 1 a.m., Bright Thinker will send you an email with everything that you did for the day. And once a week, you will receive an email with every single thing that you did for the week. All right. You also have the ability to receive an email when you get a score. So if your teacher grades an item, you can receive an instant email or a text message as soon as the teacher grades that paper for you. You can collect badges in Bright Thinker in some courses. You may want to get an email or a notification if your grade drops below passing. Good way to monitor your grade. You don't need to worry about an enrollment status change. When you finish, make sure you save. Okay, another thing on your main page here, it says you have a to-do list tab. I'm going to tell you to ignore that, because for our purposes, for the remainder of the semester, that's not where you're going to get your information. You're going to get your information from your announcements. So always click on the announcements and follow what your teacher has posted for you to do for the week. Now to go back, you go to the 3-line menu. Student app will take you back to your home page. Now, to go into a course, that's the activities. And then you have your grades. So let's go into activities. This is the lesson content for the course. So whatever you see on the left side, again, you're finding what the teacher has told you to do. So if the first thing I'm going to do is my map, notice attachments are up at the top. You can open the PDF. It's going to open down at the bottom. If you've received a grade, you'll see teacher comments here. To upload it, you do show Dropbox, upload your document. Now, that's if you have to submit something. A lot of the lessons are going to be computer scored. And so when you open the lesson, you're going to see it starts with vocabulary, and it is audio based if you select play here. You're going to read through the lesson. There are a lot of videos embedded in a lot of the lessons, so if you run across one, make sure you watch it. You'd select your answers, drop downs in some cases. So if I wanted to retake this one, for example, to get to where I can submit, select your answers. You can turn on an answer eliminator to help you if you need that visual, if you need a highlighter to help you as you're reading. It's easier to read on a computer sometimes if you highlight. When you finish answering all the questions, you're going to select Submit. Now you have to answer all of the questions or you're going to get a message like I have here that tells me that I have to answer the rest of the questions. So answer the rest of the questions and then hit Submit. Then you're going to see your grade right here. So if you have a test, look what happens. So if I try to take my Unit 1 test, I'm gated. What gated means is that I am stopped until I complete Lesson 5. So if I select Lesson 5, it jumps me back up to Lesson 5 because you cannot move forward until you have worked in order. Alright, let's look at Lesson 3 here. So I took Lesson 3. I didn't do very well, but I don't really know what I missed. So the I here for information gives me my grade, and if there was any teacher information listed there, I would have it. And then I can select the Questions tab, and I can see what I missed, but I also see what the correct answer was. So this way you can learn from your mistakes. You also have the ability to see a submission history of when you submitted it. Alright, another cool feature about Bright Thinker is you can add notes. So if I wanted to add a note here telling me to redo, for example, and if I wanted to file it, I can use, just like Twitter, hashtag, smiley face. You want to make sure that your hashtags, if you're going to use the notes, you use consistent hashtags. You may want to use a course name, and that's because when you click Go to All Notes, you have the ability, you can filter and you can search. And so if I wanted all of them for hashtag happy, now I have the 2 notes that are hashtag happy. To go back, alright, so I'm going to go back to my student app. Now you can see your grade book as well. So this was my activities. This is my grade book, to where I see my grade, my progress. Now let me explain the difference. Where it says you have a % of gradable activities, and then you have a % of activities completed. Here's the difference. Gradable activities are ones you get a grade for. But all activities, notice 87 of those compared to 76 grades. And that's because there are things like objectives. You have to click that you read the objectives. So that's considered an activity, but it's not a gradable activity. So there's the difference. If you wanted to see all of your activity, there's an activity tab here. Gives you the time, the duration you spent. So if you're spending 1 minute on a lesson or 1 minute on a test, then that's a good indication you didn't spend enough time reading the lesson. And the badges that I mentioned earlier, if you earn a badge, it would be here. So now I'm going to go back to my home screen. The last thing I want to point out is your activity stream. So when you see right here that click here to view feedback, that means your teacher has sent feedback. And if you click there, you'll see it. This is audio feedback, so you would select play to hear your feedback. If your teacher sends you an email, you can see it in the activity stream. Now you will also see email if you go into a course. You'll see right here, you'll see a new announcement for the course. There's the announcement. You will also see any emails that you have, so this is where you see those. So always look for those when you first log in. You have to go to the course to see it, or from your home screen, you can see it in the activity stream. Now, another thing to notice. You do have a calendar. Do not pay attention to that for our purposes. Communication. So these are all of your announcements again. It's the same place you would end up from the student app if you click on announcements. 2 different ways to get to the same location. 3-line menu, go back to student app. I hope you enjoy the Bright Thinker courses.